Courageous, bravery, and compassionate. Courageous because he was able to overcome many obstacles. Bravery because as much as he was afraid, he would go get them. And also for compassionate, he has compassion for people.
An amazing man, always giving, helping. A big guy with a gentle heart, always helping everybody. I met Niki in intermediate. We got to be friends from intermediate, and when we got to high school, he played football with us for the Waianae Sea Riders, 9th and 10th grade JV.
Okay, so I knew his father before I knew him. I knew his father as Uncle Niki. And then later on, I met him at church at our youth services. And then later on, in his high school years, he worked for my father. So later on, when our young adulthood, we got to court each other. And from then on, 43 years later. Okay, so we met at church, but then I wasn't the first. But then turned out, I guess God was waiting for that to happen, for both of us to meet up. But anyway, as we have grown to, because he had to win the heart of my dad. So he was working with my dad, and my brother was his supervisor. One day, my brother came home and told me, I need to fire your boyfriend. I said, what? He said, because he thinks too much about you all day. I said, you do what you need to do. But from then on, that's what inspired him to go and look for another job. That took him 43 years at the same job since right out of high school.
And then we became friends closer after high school with Brother Sugi. When he had his company, we used to go down to church, help him. Trucking, Sugi has a West Coast trucking company. And then me and Niki used to come down, help Sugi, whatever what he needed help with. But he was always there to lend a hand, Niki. Like I said, a big guy with a big heart, and didn't expect anything in return.
When my brothers used to be passing with the truck, he used to run up there and get on the truck with him and to go to work. So instead of going to class, he would cut out to go to work. So, but that led him to know that up ahead, he's going to have a wife. He needs to further or upgrade his employment, which he did. So he went into a company, started off with warehouseman, like about 10 years. Then when we finally had our daughter, he changed up. He said, I need to upgrade. So he went into truck driving. So he went to truck driving maybe another 10 years. Then later on, he knew all the street names in Hawaii or Oahu that the boss says, get in the office, you're gonna be a dispatcher. So the next 20 years was dispatcher. And then up to 43 years that he worked there. Yeah. When he wanted to court me, he tried 4 times. He asked me 4 times, and I just said, no, let's just be friends. Because I didn't have a chance to have a boyfriend. My dad didn't allow me to. But after the 4th time, he gave up. Then I was like, hey, I kind of miss him. So then I made the move. I went to look for him. So I called his mom, and she told me that he went out here and there. And then later on, I told him, okay, I'm ready to be a girlfriend after 4 times. But I know I did a good choice on selecting him. I guess it would be our children. Yeah, each of them. We had 3. We had 1. Then I thought, was it going to have any more? So 6 years apart from the second. Then right after, the 3rd one came, not even a year after. But anyway, I guess there was a lot of accomplishments in our life, our marriage, being able to expect the unexpected would happen. But then, what I liked about our marriage is we work as a team. So whatever one would decide, the other one would know what the agreement would be. So if my children was to ask me something, I already knew what the answer would be. No.
I would get in trouble with my mom because me and my sister, we kind of are the knuckleheads because we also are the youngest. So we kind of we kind of do things our own way most of the time. So whenever my mom would try to, guide us and like teach us certain things and we wouldn't listen, and my dad, he would say like funny things like how do I explain this? Like he'll make jokes that kind of go over both of our heads. Like to him it's funny, and then to us we were just like, oh my god, like why are you saying that? But I guess like now that he's not here, like and now that I'm older too and I have my own son, that I don't know, thinking about those moments, like it makes me feel like, it makes me feel, bittersweet, because I don't know, like thinking about how he was thinking during those times, like he's our dad, so to him he was trying to help in that way by making jokes.
No. So it means that already when we make decisions for our children, we already knew what the combined agreement would be. As we're growing up, raising our children, going to work, being busy, making money to take care of children, we never took the time to, we already dated, but why would you want to date your spouse? But we didn't take the time to do that. But then latter years came forth and we said, hey, I think we better start, going out places by ourselves. So we did, and with our friends, his classmates, we all took a lot of trips to our Alaska cruise ship. So that was like a big highlight every so many years. I think it's been more than 10 years that we've been going to our Alaska trip, and so every 3 years or something. But then this last one, where we're supposed to go this year, all the friends decided to take a, let's just wait till Niki gets better. And then our other friend, he also had a setback in his health. So we, everybody decided, let's just wait. But it's okay that we had good times together, all the memories that we built together. And we still can build more, because, we can build more with our children and grandchildren. When I was growing up, my dad never allowed us in the ocean, never allowed us on the boat. He was too afraid for his children's safety. When I got married to my husband, there's so much things that my father didn't allow me to do. But now that I married I married my husband, I was able to explore more. So the time that we got married was the week after. My dad then was working on the mountain on the Maili Point. And there I saw my father and my brothers on the mountain. I was waving at them from the boat. I can imagine what my father was thinking. Oh no, there goes my daughter on the boat. Now he can't say anything because now I have a new boss.
Fishing, we always fishing. No matter whatever happening, Niki would always talk about that, about what we do.
But he's always there for us, and then we used to go fish, so we became more close with Sugi. We used to go Molokai, go Kauai on the boat, stay the whole weekend, and just fish 3 days straight up there. But we used to lunch from Waianae. We leave in the morning, say like 6 o'clock, then we get to Molokai or Lanai like 3:30 in the evening. Get up there, throw in our diving gear. The first thing we gotta pick up is our dinner, so Sugi always used to jump down in the water, grab one uhu, come up. Okay, next we're having uhu for dinner. I go, all right, he's always smiling. And then we used to cook the uhu. We have an oven in the stove, on the boat, and stove. Limoko, we had all hot chili pepper, rice, everything on the boat. And we just stay there, fish the whole weekend. And then come back Sundays, all the way back to Waianae.
So with his friends, the two friends, they always do things together. And we came back from our Alaska trip. That was in 2023. But just before our trip, he kind of noticed, he took a blood draw and he says, call the doctor because I don't feel well. I don't know why I feel this way. So I said, okay, we'll get to her when we get back. Then we went on a trip and he kept on saying, I'm tired. I said, I like to take a nap too. Let's go take a nap. So we told our friends, hey, we're going to take a nap. We kupunas now. So we meet you guys later. So he didn't realize that these things was up ahead. And then I think a month later, when we got back from our trip, he was helping his friend. They were packing up for their, they had to move their facility. So he was trying to tell a friend he was on a 5 feet container. So he told the friend, "Hey, come, bring that equipment, come." Boom. He fell. So they checked the heart. They said the heart's okay. So they said, okay, it's the white blood cell count. It's low. Let's find out where it's at. So they searched, and they went into his spine. With the spine, they puncture a hole, and by near L5. L5 is where your DNA is at. So when they punctured it to pull it out, that's where they found the leukemia. So it's AML, acute myeloid leukemia. Well, in that time, getting ready to prepare for his transplant, he started to fall now. He couldn't even sit up or stand without having his blood pressure so low, down to the 50s. Couldn't understand why. Even to a point he can be sitting down on a throne, and he fainted. He didn't know he had fainted. Okay, so they're kind of trying to figure out what is causing it, that problem. So they couldn't figure out. Nobody could figure out. So he did get the transplant. Thank goodness, because they had to do tube feeding because he wasn't eating. Okay, so when he got back his taste buds, I went back to the apartment. I made him his pork and peas. I made everything that, I know the local style of eating, because it wasn't happening when we was trying to go to eat anything from the hospital. Everything tasted like cardboard, he says. But he said he really wanted, craving Hawaii food. The sad thing about it, he was a fisherman. Now, how can a fisherman not have raw fish? Okay, so my kids bought him spicy ahi. I went in the kitchen. I got him a small bowl. I put his rice in there. I put his spicy ahi. I said, "Eat and enjoy." Oh, he said, "Thank you." And he was eating his fish, and he ate every morsel that was there. But then I always thought, no regrets. Even to his yolk, I tried to make it a little bit up from runny, but then he got to taste the yolk. But then, then when it was time to try the steak, he already lost, taste buds. But, I didn't know that what was up ahead, but God knew the plan. Yeah. So he prepared me way ahead of time. Sadly, that the day that he was passing, he didn't want to eat, ready to go. But you know what? As sad as I was, I rejoice. I rejoice because God released me. My husband released me, knowing that all the pain is gone. So even though if I miss him, I'm going to cry here and there, but knowing that he trusted God. And I knew it was time. Because if he was to ask me many years ago, my husband was never ready for heaven. Because he didn't want to give up maybe his things that he didn't want to be there all the time for the Lord, or whatever it was. But he loved the Lord. He knew of the Lord. And he knew that not to serve any other God but God, our Heavenly Father. So when this time came, my heart leaped for joy, knowing that he was suffering. I couldn't fix what was his pain. And to see all of that just was a relief for him and for me. And although my children, saddened, but I told my children, we're all going to grieve. We're going to have different levels, but we have to trust God, because that's all we have. Trust and hope in God and each other. So he brought my children closer together. So in that raising my 3 children, we also adopted 4 of our foster children. So now that they're older, they still come back home. And I said, not only coming back home to us, but surrender to God, because God is all you need.
I would tell him that, that I'm sorry for a lot of the things that I did, or like a lot of the things that, I don't know, like I might have said while I was growing up, or especially when I was a teenager. Because I know that he was really intentional with what he wanted to, like how he wanted his kids to grow up, and like even though he didn't say a lot most of the time, I know that he did care a lot. And I would tell him like I am sorry, especially for leaving so abruptly. because I don't know, I don't want to leave anything with regret. I just wanted to be able to tell him that I do see, I can understand a lot of the things him and my mom were trying to teach me growing up, and I didn't fully understand that until I left and then I came back. So I do wish I could tell him that I'm sorry but I did get to tell him that I loved him. So I'm happy with that.
Thank you for the friendship. Caring. He's a good man. Good brother. We'll miss him. But he'll always be in our hearts.
You know, he cried and he apologized for me. Had to take care of him. I said, you know what? It's an honor to take care of you. I said, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. I'm going to take care of you because you're my husband. He loved fishing, and he always says, when I pass, I want to be a dolphin. Because he was thinking, yeah, he wanted to be in the ocean, right? So then he always reminded us, when I pass, do not put me in the ground. Put me in the ocean.
Actually, the boat that my dad has is Niki's boat. He bought Niki's boat. Niki sold his boat for help him and his wife get their place. So he was really nice. So my dad bought the boat. So that's going to be one of the boats that we're going to go scatter him.
Born in Honolulu, under island skies so blue, from Nanakuli's shores, a heart so strong and true.
At 12 years old on a farm he learned the way, hands to the work every single day.
Of Waianae High, class of 80, proud and free. Friendships like the ocean, endless as can be.
With a fishing pole standing by his dad's side, he found peace where the waves kiss the tide.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord.
Niki, you lived like the ocean, deep and wide, a man of faith with the Lord as your guide. Through the storms, you never lost your light. You fought the good fight with all of your might. Oh, your love, your laughter, your hands that provide a warrior spirit.
Forever by our side, married young to Danielle, the love of your life. 40 years together as husband and wife.
From truck wheels turning to a kitchen's embrace, you gave every moment a loving place.
Uncle, father, grandfather, friend, your circle of love would never end.
With every poke bowl, every chili pepper bite, you kept your island heart burning bright.
Love is patient, love is kind, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
When the battle came, the doctor spoke of days, but your faith in the Lord lit a higher way.
Through the prayers, through the tears,
You gave us 2 more years,
and even more.
with God all things are possible. Niki, you live like the ocean, deep and wide, a man of faith with the Lord as your guide. Through the storms, you never lost your light. You fought the good fight with all of your might. Oh, your love, your laughter, your hands that provide a warrior spirit,
Forever by our side.
now you're fishing heaven's waters,
Pain set free with your Father in glory for eternity.
we'll see you